new research is out to show that more mining is creating more conflict. This came out in the ecologist.org by Mario Perez Rincon and Nick Mignon. This came out the 9th of January. So it's pretty amazing, but it also makes perfect sense. It really is focusing on Latin America, in particular the Andes Mountains, which several countries are in the Andes Mountains or have the Andes Mountains in them, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. And then every time these mining companies come in, their tactics are pretty similar. And it's farmers and indigenous people that are like, hey, because they're taking away their land, they deliberately contaminate the water to just hope they move away. And what is going on is now these farmers and these indigenous people, I've talked about this numerous times, and there was a pipeline coming through Mexico, and indigenous people are like, no. So this is what you got to do, because this is what the corporate state just wants to plunder all the natural resources to further its machine. And they're just hoping that these poor people, either they kill them or move them out of there. They don't care. Contaminate their water. Who gives a shit? That's their whole thinking. So, let me go into some of the specifics here. Mining conflicts are not uncommon in Latin America, but the Andes now resemble a war zone. In Peru, the world's #2 producer of copper, zinc, and silver, many peasant groups are revolting. Mining accounts for 12% of Peru's gross domestic product and 57% of its exports. And as its mining export grows, so does the number of mining conflicts. Clashes between demonstrators and the authorities between 2015 and 16 left 4 dead following the opening of the Las Bambas mine owned by Chinese companies, displaced thousands of people. But Peru is just one hotspot. A recent study did the math on the link between growth in mining exports and growth in environmental conflicts across Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. The correlation is almost perfect, thereby debunking the carefully crafted myths around new and better corporate social responsibility and sustainable mining. Do not listen to any of that bullshit. Do not trust a mining company. Do not trust an oil company. Don't trust a bank. Don't trust a big pharmaceutical company. They're just going to spew bullshit for profit. And now that they've got this amoral, soulless, godless, small-handed jackwagon in the White House who has been allowed to do all these things because Obama and Bush and Clinton and the first Bush have been deregulating bullshit for a while now. Mainly, specifically, Bush and Obama have deregulated so much shit that now you have a lunatic in there, and this is what the Democrats get for cheating in the primary, blocking 26 million independents from voting, and then just arrogantly expecting those independents to vote in the general. You have to vote for us because we're not evil like them. Well, you cheated us, you fucked us, and now there's a jackass in the White House, and it's your fault, Democratic Party. And this corporate evil bullshit is your fault, corporate Dems. But it's not fair to just blame the Democrats, because as I believe it's Ralph Nader, or maybe it was Noam Chomsky said, I forget, the distinction between Republicans and Democrats is the speed with which they drop to their knees for corporate benefactors. We all know that Republicans are evil. So here's what's happening. So when digging in the Indian counties went ballistic in the 1972 to 2012 period, from 336 megatons to 1,145 megatons, that's when the extraction shifted from biotic to abiotic material. We're talking about fossil fuels, building materials, and metal ores such as copper and gold. To put it in terms of domestic extraction per square kilometer, the numbers went from 72 to 244 tons per square kilometer. Good Lord. Only 28, so as the mining has increased since the 70s, there's this statistic. Only 28 environmental conflicts started before 1990. 45 started in the 90s, And after 2000, when the mining has really been ramped up, guess what? 171 conflicts started. When these conflicts are looked at in greater detail, most new conflicts are also related to metal mining and fossil fuel extraction, and also to commodities such as hydropower and oil palm plantations, all of them forms of extraction that grew very fast. The math behind the study offers non-ideological arguments against the extravist economic model, whether it is fueled by neoliberal ideologies, as in Colombia and Peru, or national populist ones, as in Ecuador and Bolivia. More often than not, the new battle lines or commodity frontiers are in the territories with indigenous populations. Sounds like Standing Rock. These populations find themselves on the front lines of a global resources war. However, there is another way to look at this trend. Some academics now argue that these ecological distribution conflicts have an important role for sustainability because they relentlessly bring to light conflicting values over the environment. This is the type of resistance that Chris Hedges has talked about. You just have to physically resist. Now, some of these people are taking up arms. I've never been an advocate for that, but this is the type you have to just resist. They peacefully resisted in Standing Rock. It was the government, it was the cops, it fueled, funded, and motivated by the oil companies, and then who hired Tiger Swan. They turned it into a violent conflict at Standing Rock. That's who did that. Environmental justice movements born out of such conflicts, so goes their argument, become key actors in politicizing unsustainable resource uses. As the authors of the studies points out, they can turn from victims to environmental injustices. They can turn from victims of environmental injustices into warriors for sustainability. We all need to be, in one version or another, a warrior for sustainability, because they are looking to plunder everything. Does this story sound familiar? We've covered this story before. We covered it with fracking in Colorado. We've covered it with pipelines through Pennsylvania. We've covered it through the earthquakes in Oklahoma from fracking. We've covered this in the US. We've covered this. And this is why we just can't abide by any neoliberalism anymore. Justin Trudeau, the many of you Canadians last year pointed out that no, he is not a good liberal. He is a pro-oil yogi. Just because he does yoga, we're supposed to believe that he's good for us. No. They just dress up, these corporatists, but they're pro-choice, they're pro-gay marriage, they do yoga, they play an instrument, they're so open-minded hippies. They're still getting money from the same corporate assholes. And now what are they doing? They love going where there's poor people. They love going where there's indigenous people because they can just shove them out of the way pretty easily. And there's not a lot of TV cameras down there. I wish I had the money to go down there and cover these things. If I had real money, if we grow this channel into real kind of money, I'll go down there and cover this shit. You better believe it. I'll be all over the place. But we all need to be warriors for sustainability in your actions, in how you vote with your dollars, your daily life, how you can be little things help you support the environment in little small ways. So thank you for watching this show. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for caring about these stories that no one else is covering other than these little small, theecologist.org. You think CNN is... If CNN covered this story, well, let's talk with someone from the mining company. We'll get both sides of it. No, the mining companies are fucking evil. Just cut the bullshit. Like and subscribe. Share these videos and get the word out. Thank you so much.